In this single life, men have the upper advantage. Right now, the dating market is screwed. It's fucked up. Society, some way, somehow confuse them, make them feel like they're doing themselves a favor. They're doing themselves, some empowering thing where they're empowering themselves. Never turn a situationship into a relationship. Never turn a situationship into a relationship. Bro, just think about it. If a girl really fuck with you and she really kicked it with you, why would she hold herself out? Just give you the remains of her. Like, you gotta think about that. Like, if a chick really fuck with you, why would she hold herself out? You're accepting a hoe, the woman that you chose to protect. It's a punishment towards men when a female feel like she have to hold herself out in order to be able to settle down with you. She feel like she gotta hold herself. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at it that way. How could she ever respect you to lead or to guide her if you're allowing yourself to accept a hoe? And every female that come into your life, they always gonna give you some signs or give you some warning, letting you know who they are. It's up for you to take up for the signs. It's up for you to take up on it and make a choice. Now, if you want respect and loyalty, and for a female to love you, she gotta respect you. How can she respect you if she's holding herself out to you and she's in a situationship with you? Like, you dealing with a female and she's dealing with other people while she's dealing with you. But the whole entire time she know that she wanna be with you. But while she wanna be with you, she's allowing herself to attach herself to multiple different niggas and multiple different other people. Slowly allow herself to not be attached to you. And now she just allowing you to just get the remains of her. So she holding you as a backup plan, pretty much. You gotta understand, in this single life, men have the upper advantage. Right now, the dating market is screwed. It's fucked up. I get it, it's screwed, but men holds the most advantage in this single life. Like, men generally do. And then they explain to you why. Because men have options. They got more options. You feel what I'm saying? They got more options because men could keep doing this, this situationship thing and keep this thing going, as they can. They only have 10 years. They only have from the ages of what? Let's say 20 to 30. After 30, that's when men start pulling back and they start losing attraction. After 30, that's usually general. That's give or take. It may not be true, but it's just some shit that a lot of men say. So let's say a female have 10 years. She have her to her 20s or to her 30s. So all throughout her 20s, she get to screw around, she get to do whatever it is she want to do. But she chose to be with this dude, that dude, rather than saving her 20s, her prime years, to prepare herself to be a wife. But she preparing herself to be a hoe. If you're not preparing yourself to be a wife, then you prepare yourself to be a hoe. What you do in your 20s is what you're going to end up being in your 30s. If majority of your 20s, you was hoeing, you're gonna end up hoeing in your 30s, pretty much. You're just gonna slow down with the hoeing. You're just gonna be in little situationships, but you just gonna keep the same pattern that you've been doing in your 20s and your 30s. It's gonna be the same way. Now, if she's preparing herself to be in a relationship, like if she's building a relationship personality, that means she allowing herself to build bond with people. That means she have personality skills, right? Because she has history in that. So if she have history in being in a relationship, that means she's more suitable for relationship, right? When you apply at banks, financial institutions, when you go apply at these banks for a loan, or when you go apply at these banks for a mortgage, they want to see your credit history, right? They want to see if you got years of building credit, right? They want to know if you have at least 2 years of credit building history, at least 2 years. They want to know if you're consistent or not. They want to know if you're long term. When you're in a situation where you're in multiple different situationships and you're not building no history of being in relationships, you're just building history of being in situationship, eventually that's what you're gonna end up doing in your 30s. Your prime years is the years that it's most sensitive to us. That's why it's called our prime years. But the thing about it is, a lot of people don't value it, because it's such a high. When you win your prime years, it's such a high. It feels so good to the point where your prime years just go by so fast. You know what I'm saying? It go by fast because you're so young, but you still getting older, but you so young, and times go by fast in your prime years because you just want to have fun, right? But a lot of people in their prime years, man, they let lust get into them. You know what I'm saying? They let lust get the best of them. When they let lust get the best of them, man, they tend to live a taboo life, and they tend to subject themselves to, a lot of shit, a lot of little crazy shit, and they allow society or the media gravitate their thoughts and make them do what they want them to do. They make the media become their guidance. Like the media is telling them what to do type shit. You know what I'm saying? And That's how people build their culture, is by letting the media build their culture for them. I look at it like this, man. It doesn't benefit for guys to settle with a girl who's he's in a situationship with. And let me explain to you why. The reason why it's not beneficial, because in that case, for the man's side, he would be settling for the man's side because she done ran through everybody that she done ran through. How you gonna expect her to respect you or to expect you to lead? Because in order for her to expect you to lead, she have to respect you. If she don't respect you, then she'll expect you to lead. Then she's not gonna let you lead because she don't respect you. So if a girl allow herself to hold herself out, to allow you to just to give you her remains, to allow you to settle with her, that means she don't respect you. That means she using you for financial gain. In this case, she want a generous man. Remember this word, generous man. She want a generous man. Do you know what a generous man is? There's a hoe's favorite word, generous man. Hoes like that type of man. Only hoes like that man. I'm telling you, that's a whole favorite word, generous. They just want people to just give to them. It's a big mistake if a female have to ask for something. If a female have to beg or tell you what she's worth, that means she's not worth it. If she have to tell you what she deserves, that means she don't deserve it. There's females who don't even have to open their mouth and they get it. It just happens to them. They just get it because that's what they're worth. The men will see your worth and will give you your worth. But for females to just claim their worth and allow you to just accept it, that means she testing to see if you're gonna see her for her worth. She just guessing her worth, trying to see if people will really take up for it. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, you gotta let the female prove her worth through her action, not what she say. That's how when a female say, well, you gotta ask for it, you gotta ask it, close mouth, don't get fed, you gotta ask for it. Nah, it's all about what you gonna do for it. It's never attractive for a female to ask for it because if the female ain't the one to approach it, they the prey, the man is the predator. You know what I'm saying? The man is the one to approach it. So the man do the talking, the female just gotta do the listening. They gotta be the ones to make the right decision. So when it's situations like that, when they open their mouth, tell you what they feel like they deserve, nah, they gotta make you feel like it. If a man don't feel like he should do this or do that for her, then he ain't gonna do it because he feel like she ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? But every female think that they worth it. In order for you to think that you worth it, a man gotta show you that you worth it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be of a difference to a man. What I mean by that is you have to inspire a man. You gotta make a man wanna get up and work, get up and do the things for you. Get up and, want to assist. So now what you got to understand is in today's day and age, you will see a lot of older guys in their 40s and 50s are expecting these 30-year-old women and these 40-year-old women to deal with guys in their mid-30s because that's what these females are expecting. The females, they expected the times to never change. Back then, men used to settle in their 30s. Back then, they should settle in their 30s. But now that times changed, men are settling in their 30s. Men are very comfortable being more single now. The females, the reason why they were hoeing, the reason why they took up on the whole lifestyle, they were expecting men to be ready to settle in their 30s, in their mid-30s. That's the type of age, that's the mid-age, that's the pinpoint age that a lot of women like to seek out for men. Is men in their 30s, men in their late 30s, because he still got a little bit of youth to him, but he's still becoming a young man, and he's still kind of, got that age to him. That's why a lot of these women look for men in their 30s, in their mid-30s to their 40s. They are expecting those men to settle down, but there's not a lot of men to choose from. Why? Because there's men that's traveling, there's men that's working from home, there's men that clock out from dating, so it's not much options for them, right? But they had that expectation. That's their expectation. They're expecting a man in their 30s to be ready to single. Now guys knowing that they're being expected, they have more options. Now guys are just running through these girls, running through these females, like just running through them, right? Now guys have more options. These females are realizing that, damn, they can't keep up the sex life. They can't keep it up because what you gotta understand is in this sex culture, bro, the reason why I say men always have the advantage because when you really look at it, the females, they're only benefiting men in this sex life. But guess who made this sex life a thing? Females made it a thing. With the music, with the actions that they do, they're actually out here fucking. Like for real, they're actually out here having sex. Like they're actually fucking, getting trays around on them, getting a lot of, doing a lot of shit. But you gotta understand, who get the benefits of it all is men at the end of the day, because hoes, they're servers of men. That's what they do, is they're basically serving men. Because if they spent their whole entire 20s having sex with men and not end up with nothing, not end up with no man, and not end up with no family, not end up with no ring on their finger, that means they basically served men. That's basically what they did. They basically served men, because whoever that these females give up their body to in their 20s, give up their prime to, their best years, their prime, they've given up their best years to men in their whole phase, and they didn't end up with nothing in their 30s and in their 40s. So the percentage of that is below 50%. So below 50%, less than 50% of females, they're getting the success even if they get into their whole phase, they still end up in a relationship. That's very less than, 20%. That's less than that. But majority of the females who get into their whole phase, you know what I'm saying? They the ones who's not really expecting nothing out of it, because they expect to go through their whole phase because they serve men. It's pretty much it's whole phase meaning serving men. That's what whole phase means. It means serving men. Because all you're doing is giving men your box. That's basically what that means. Serving men. Everything that they took from whole phase, they took it as a way of empowering to them. They find it as a way of empowering to them. Society some way, somehow confuse them, make them feel like they're doing themselves a favor. They're doing themselves, some empowering thing where they're empowering themselves by giving up their bodies. But it's not a really empowering move. They're just cohabitating with their lust. They're just reacting to their lust. They're feeding to their lust. Understand what I'm saying? So when they submit to their lust and their lust lead them and guide them to something that they don't end up with nothing, they end up parading it, to try to avoid accountability, to try not to look stupid, to try to make them feel like they hold strong in on the decision that they made. At the end of the day, when they hit their 30s and 40s, they single, but they did have a whole phase. But you're still single and life is hitting you hard. You gotta pay all these bills by yourself. You gotta still work from the age of 20 all the way to the age of 30 and 40 and 50. You imagine you going through your whole phase, giving out your best years and still having to work till 60 and 50 because you gave up your 20s. Because you gave up your 20s, it costs you your 30s, your 40s, and your 50s. You have to work your whole entire life until you retire, because now you have no man to want you in your 30s. Because the majority of the men is not gonna want no female who's been holding themselves out. But when females go through this whole phase, it does something to their personality. It changes them. You could tell what a female's been through based on how she acts. You could tell that she's been through something based on how she acts, based on how confident she is in a room full of men. The more confident she is in a room full of men, the more she likes the attention of men. You feel this? Which is the bad sign. Watch how your female is. Watch how your female act. If you got a female, watch how your female act around men. When you around your boys or y'all around men, if she get too excited and her energy jump up, that means she like the attention of multiple men. That means she has a fetish, bro. She has the fetish of being with multiple men. There's good women out there. There is good women. I'm not saying that they're not, but some of these girls, man, they're gone. They're worse than a man. And what makes them worse than a man is the fact that they can't take accountability. Society have given them so much leeway to the point where they cannot see no wrong, to the point where they become such great manipulators, to the point where they manipulate their therapists, they manipulate the judge, federal policeman, they even manipulate themselves, or they even manipulate their own kids. Because when someone don't take accountability, when they have that lifestyle in their mind, when they have that reoccurring lifestyle in their mind, it make them act a certain way where they can just do anything and not expect any consequence. You know what I'm saying? So it takes accountability from them to the point where they don't fear nothing. So they just do what they do. And when they don't expect what they expected at the end, they kind of sort of get upset a little bit, because that's not what they expected. But that's why when they took away shame, they took away accountability, because they took away shame. They allowed the lifestyle to serve men. That's basically what they did, was allow women to serve men, but told women to be empowered by serving men. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're being strong, you're being confident. Yeah, by serving men. And what I mean by that is the men who they end up serving in their 20s, the men who they end up giving up their prime years to, they gave the men the confidence to end up becoming a man, or end up being whoever he feel like he think he is. And that guy end up in a relationship, but that guy just did not end up with her. Yes, he got her body. Yes, he got her best years, but he still ended up in a relationship with somebody else and still got kids in a family with another female. But that female right there, all she just got was just dick by that guy. So it become a situation where at the end of the road, whoever these females give their body to, they try to maintain a relationship with nowadays. Don't you see that? Because they don't want to lose at the end. Because what if none of the situationships work out? Then they'll feel like they took an L at the end. So a lot of these females are trying to hold on to their relationship, because once one person get into your life, and the more someone get into your life and leave your life, it only dims your heart. It only dims the feeling of your heart. It dims the feeling of your attachment. It makes it hard for you to get attached to somebody. So a lot of these girls are trying to be in situationships and try to hold on to it. That's why when a girl have a rotation, they can't have a rotation for long, because once they have a rotation, once they break off on that rotation, it screws that girl mind up, it screws her perception about men. Once one man in that rotation piss her off, she will drop all the men in the rotation. If a female have a rotation of 3 guys or 4 guys, if her best guy piss her off, they'll drop all of them. It will ruin their bonding ability. They'll make excuses about it, like say, it's just a past, right? They don't bring up the past. They're not gonna bring up the past, because the past is gonna make you reconsider the resources that you're planning on sharing with her. That's why they don't tell you the past. Because if she tell you her past, you would determine her worth or whether or not you should share your finances or your resources with her. But if they tell you they pass, they don't have the power to get nothing out of you, because now you have a perception of who they are. So the reason why they don't tell you they pass is because they know that men hold the power of determining her worth. That's why they're not going to tell you, because they know that if they tell you, you're not going to give them your resources. That will tell you everything that you need to know about them. That's their only main line of defense, So now it's like a give or take, man. It's like a give or take, whether you have to take her up on what she has to give to you, or she has to take up on what you have to give to her. She got to take how she want to take it, right? That's the end of the video. And it took me a little while to make this video, but man, as I say, man, drop a comment. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Let me know what other videos that y'all want me to make. Leave a like, click that bell so you can get the notice. And I'll be back, man, for your next video, man. Peace.